So what is your journey? Like, what's your background and why you get into this and when you started working?
I started back in 99, 98.
Okay.
That's when I started working while I was studying.
What I'm seeing nowadays, most of the engineers who have a great career, big companies, big packages, they're leaving and coming into the startup.
I was actually working in Google, had a 50-member team. I was happy, but the thing is, if you talk about all the AI trends that are going, everybody wants to build an AI assisted app or AI first app.
I think for the wrong things, it got more of the publicity, but how useful it is for the needy people and needy.
That today we have around close to 125 million apps
Okay.
across the world.
But
The big but is we need 500 million apps. They don't also have enough people. You don't have enough engineers if you want to actually put even for them. So,
where you got this idea? What kicked in your life?
I've been building applications in large companies. I've worked with Microsoft, Google, and G-Money.
So what are the interesting apps you have discovered while in your this journey of?
We actually just need to go, we build the building blocks. We don't build all the applications, but where we find the excitement is we take these building blocks, they are like Lego blocks.
I think what are the sectors you think it's got benefited so much?
We are actually seeing most of our customers actually using it as.
But do you think this artificial intelligence will be used for astrology apps also? Because we
I'm
Indians,
sure
we
somebody's
Indians
working on it.
Like nothing has been left right now.
Everybody wants to use it and everybody wants to leverage.
How do you think the future will it works? Like, or any other sectors you think still needs to work or it can come up?
Better ways to actually optimize our own metro route planning. All these things can be done with AI much more efficiently.
Now at this point, what are the sectors you are working where exactly you wanted to go and make a future on it?
So we are actually focusing on fintech and also healthcare.
Welcome to my show Trendsetters with Neha. Well, again I have got a one Trendsetters. Let's find out what is his journey being into startup companies and what exactly he does. And I mean, every startup has their up and downs, their struggles, their happiness. So I mean, everybody has that kind of a history behind it when they come up with a new product, new idea. So what is this all about? And let's find out more, getting into the details of their personally, how they get support. I think these are all the ways and inspirational stories which we actually need to understand. It's very easy to say, oh, you built this. But before building it, what they have gone through, what blood and sweat they have gone through. I think that we need to discover more. So I think today I had Mr. Anand with me, and it was great meeting you in T-Hub, I mean, I must say. And as we were talking about, every startup has something of the journey, different variety. Everybody has their own struggles up and down, and people always say, oh, I have a startup, but they don't know the reality, The actually businesses, people say, okay, father made the business, the son is growing, right? But getting into the startup, age is not the bar. We are seeing the young people also, of all age group, people are getting into this, right? So what is your journey? Like, what's your background and why you get into this and how you are actually managing all these years?
Awesome.
Yeah.
So first of all, thank you, Neha, for having me here.
Yeah.
Absolutely thrilled to share my journey. And like you said, startups are not easy.
Yeah.
You must have heard
and it's become a very trendy word also. I'm doing a startup.
It is, but at the same time, I can tell you, anybody who has lived in a startup for more than a year, they know how much of it's not trendy. It's painful.
It's painful. But still they wanted to be in that. They know we'll get a pain, we will get everything, but to get cure of the disease, we have to go for injections or medicines.
I completely agree, and I think I'm afflicted by the disease, if you want to so call it, because this is my third startup. I did my first startup. I quit GE. I was working with GE Money at that time, quit the job, set up my startup from 2007 to 2011, then I sold it. Then I set up another startup in 2017 because I was actually VP of engineering in a company. I was working 18 hours a day. I was getting exhausted, so I thought I'll take a break. And
when you started working?
I started back in 99, 98.
Okay.
That's when I started working while I was studying. That's when I started also doing programming. I did everything from a data entry operator to programmer to a manager. So.
But what I'm seeing nowadays, most of the engineers who have a great career, big companies, big packages, they're leaving and coming into the startup. Do you think what kind of, they were like boost up or they were in sight first rated coming out? They've been provided everything, but still they wanted to have their own product or baby, and they know the pain, it will be discomfortable because they already lived a very comfortable life.
I think
Why
that,
they wanted to come
yeah,
out?
that is, I think you've actually hit, two things, right? Comfort doesn't actually give you comfort after a point.
Okay.
So actually in 2022, when I quit and I started Kiss.ai, which is my current startup, I was actually working in Google, had a 50-member team. I was happy, but the thing is, we have more ideas. We want to do more things. We want to change the world. So all these, motivations tend to make you feel uncomfortable in your comfort.
Oh.
So that's why I thought I'll quit and set up this company again. Now in Kiss.ai, we are actually developing a AI-assisted software development. So software development inherently is difficult. And if you talk about all the AI trends that are going, everybody wants to build an AI assisted app or AI first app.
There's so many useful things are happening.
Useful things that are happening, but nobody knows how to build it.
Exactly.
Because I would say 95% of the people who are trying to go build AI applications, they don't know.
I think artificial intelligence become popular after some heroine faces, things happened, and then there is a word came, artificial intelligence being used to change the face or, for the criminal act. I think for the wrong things, it got more of the publicity, but how useful it is for the needy people and needy way as economy can get, in a bigger way.
I think it is like this, right? There is a study that has been told that, today we have around close to 125 million apps across the world. But the big but is we need 500 million apps for actually meeting the digital needs.
How many we have right now?
125.
We need how many?
500. So
oh my God! So we are already lacking it.
Yeah. And we don't, and a lot of these applications also don't have enough funding, and they don't also have enough people. You don't have enough engineers if you want to actually put even for them. At that point of time, what happens is most of these applications are not being built. And that is where you still have companies who are dealing with pen and paper. And a lot of, like you were saying, if you want to uplift the economy and also every strata of the society, then you need to make this applications and digital innovations accessible to everybody. That means that you need to bring down the price of everything down. That is only possible when you can make the whole building of applications and deploying it economical.
Yeah.
So that is where I think we are also building Kiss.ai.
Where you got this idea? What kicked in your mind? I want to make this happen.
So I've been building applications in large companies. I've worked with Microsoft, Google, and G-Money, and also in small companies, had my own startup. So software development is inherently complex. Not everybody can do it.
I know.
And it is still in 2024, it's an art form rather than a science, right?
Okay.
So that is where we are we feel the pain because in my earlier role before my second startup, I had 350 engineers in my team. And it is like herding cats. Okay. It's exceptionally difficult. So sometimes that is where you also realize you need to do this better. There should always be a better way to do all this engineering and make it more predictable, more successful and everything. So that's where I think the inspiration comes. And also that's where also the strength comes, saying, I know I have seen all the pain. I want to actually take that pain away and make the world a better place.
But as you said, you started 2 startups and then you sell it. How it would be a big pain. It was your baby. What makes you to sell that?
Because you always need the money to set up the other startup.
So that was the idea. Okay, I'll make it, I'll prepare it, and then sell it like a real estate. I made a house and
you sell the product and you actually sell the IP, and then you start again with that money and you again build another product.
So you made it like a real estate business?
Sometimes
We
software.
can say that.
It's
How it
I
works,
would call it as a value creation business.
value creation business.
So you actually put your blood and sweat into it and your ideas into it, make the software, and then you're actually selling. You get your value out of it, and then you are actually investing again in another
So
thing.
how long be this your new product?
We are
third
actually
startup?
doing it from January of last year.
Okay.
So that is where we are going.
1 year is done.
Yeah, 1 year is done, 1.5, close to 1 year, 3 months. It's been a fun journey. A lot of learnings, a lot of excitement. And with the AI we started with AI even before AI was popular. But the thing is, we have been doing this for past 8-9 years, I would say, in various capacities.
Okay.
So we know how to get the AI applications done. So that's why we are actually putting and codifying all of that. So AI first applications, you can maybe in our platform, what would typically take you around 3 to 9 months, you can do it in a couple of weeks or a couple of days if you're actually good at it.
So what are the interesting apps you have discovered while in your this journey of startup?
So we actually love the whole, we actually just need to go, we build the building blocks. We don't build all the applications, but where we find the excitement is we take these building blocks, they're like Lego blocks for AI and ML applications. So we take it, we go to the customer and the prospect and say, this is what we have. What do you think you want to do? What are your ideas? They come up with some amazing ideas. So like one, customer we have, they actually are a consulting company. They actually consult with large, billion-dollar companies, and they give IT services and everything. So in that scenario, what happens is when they're building the software or consulting engagements, they need to process tons of documentation requirements and everything that's coming in, and that is slowing them down. So what we help them with is we made them build their own knowledge management application with AI. So what they do now is their consultants, their engineers, they throw all the documents to the knowledge bot, and it actually starts giving them answers saying, okay, this is the graph of knowledge. If you are actually talking about this particular process, these are all the things that need to be changed, and this is how you build, these are the validations, this is how you build the software. So they get a bird's eye view of the entire complex domain. They went into a pharma client and they put all the documents. Usually what would take them around 3.5 months to 5 months of discovery, they did it in 2 weeks. And that is the kind of productivity.
I think the time gap is very
it
little.
actually
It's a
gets
huge
super compressed.
Gap.
Super compressed.
But like the things which has take for 1 month get into 2 minutes also, like a
Exactly.
Maggi noodle.
Exactly. So they were super excited about it, and they started using it heavily. Now they are actually not only using with the pharma, they are actually starting 2 more new projects on the same knowledge part.
Agriculture point.
No, they actually are doing it in travel industry, and they're also doing another customer who is actually into finance. All of them, all 3 projects, they're using this knowledge bot and reducing the cost, schedule time. So that is saving them a lot of money. Now, seeing that, their customers are asking us, can we also actually build in our organization? That's one use case. There's another company, startup that we are working with. They actually generate marketing content. They do 1:1 marketing. What I used to do in Zeta, similar thing. They send out emails 1:1, personalized. They also, create blogs and everything. So what we are doing with them is we give them the infrastructure, help them to create models. They have all this amazing knowledge about marketing, but they don't want to actually struggle with the ML models, training, fine-tuning the models, talking to the different, LLM models like OpenAI, Claude. They don't want to do all that. So they want to focus on their marketing domain. So what we are doing is we are giving them technology building blocks, and they actually are building their entire product on our platform. So that is kind of saving them what they would take 9 months of a roadmap time. They're actually doing it in a month and a half. So
My God.
that is again a lot of
I
acceleration.
think what are the sectors you think it's got benefited so much?
So today, where we are actually seeing most of our customers actually using it is wherever there's a lot of knowledge. That is one thing that is definitely becoming very important, and that's where they are actually seeing a lot of uptake. Second thing is whenever you need to generate creativity, creative content generation, they are also finding a lot of things. Now, interestingly, we are having a third customer, which is a totally different domain. They are actually using the AI, and this is where I think we are seeing a lot more use cases where they are actually giving all the data to the ML models and AI, and they're building custom models to actually give them what exactly is the interrelationships between them and why something went wrong. That is, they are trying to figure out what could be done to improve the process. How can the safety be improved in a particular system, or how can they actually do this better? These kind of things are where they are actually.
And it comes to when professionally, like we talk about the doctors, as engineers, lawyers, media professionals. There's so many variety of segments.
Yes. But one thing that we still...
They also have a lot of inquiries to get updated in their technology.
Yes, they are. And that is where I think it is also helpful. But one thing that we also, are very, very clear about, and we also are very conscious about, is using AI in a very safe manner. Safety is
because right now we are seeing a lot of criminal acts are happening.
Exactly.
Misuse is happening.
Correct. Yeah. And so we also need to be very on the legal side of things, and compliance is very important. So particularly you mentioned healthcare. Now when you are doing the healthcare, how accurate are you? Because you can't just actually take the data and give a wrong answer.
Yes.
Then you are just playing with somebody's life.
Yes.
So here what we also do is a lot of innovation that we have done, and a lot of our IP also is in how AI is made more deterministic. Because if you know, half the time with every AI article, the great things about AI, you'll also see another article which says how AI has gone wrong.
Yeah.
So what happens is, that is what we call in the AI speak as hallucinations, or we call it as failure rates and all these things. So what happens is, how do we see that, we actually, whenever the AI spits out some response, it's 100% accurate. Now, obviously, hallucination is part of the AI. That's how it is designed. It's not a bug, it's a feature. But the thing is, we need to make it actually give 100%. Otherwise, you can't give it to a patient. You can't give a financial advice, or you can't actually give a wrong answer. That is, if you ask, how much of a money do I have in my bank, you don't want a random answer about it, because that would throw off your planning and also be not very nice. The same way, what are your, if somebody is, we are doing prediction about their possibility of health and what diet they should take, again, it should be precise. And
I think that the healthcare, you said fitness,
exactly.
Nutritions, we have a lot of nutrition, so that also can work, right?
Correct. So that is where I think you need to be extremely careful on how you are actually trying to make it deterministic. Now, by default, AI is stochastic. To ungeek it, it is more like probability, it is random, but we are trying to make it deterministic so that you actually can depend on it.
But do you think this artificial intelligence will be used for astrology apps also? Because
I'm sure somebody is working on it.
Like nothing has been left right now.
Everybody wants to use it, and everybody wants to leverage it.
Yeah, because nowadays we see more of the videos coming up on the astrology side, ye karo, wo karo. How do you think the future, will it works, or any other sectors you think still it needs to work, or it can come up?
When you're actually looking at AI use cases, there are 3 levels in which they actually happen. That is, the first level is the very superficial level, which is what is happening. Nobody is so all of these are going through the hype cycle. You know that AI is going through a hype cycle. All these applications that are being built are on the AI hype cycle part. That is, they are the first level of applications you're getting. They are good for next 2 or 3 years, but after that people will say, yeah, this is like, I expected this, I wanted this bare minimum anyway, I'm not going to really be surprised by it, right? And it also, there is a lot of, wrong, messaging and marketing that's being done. They sell something, but you actually get something. Those things all will go away, and it will become standardized. Now, that's where I think you have a lot more potential for AI to do more serious things, in the sense finding new medicines, finding new cures, then finding better solutions for optimization of our cities, our traffic grids, then better ways to actually optimize our own, metro route planning, all these things can be done with AI much more efficiently. That is where I would call that as the second layer of applications that are going to come. These are supremely valuable and they have a long-term value proposition. And that's where I think after this initial hype is over, people will start building that. I think that is where you'll find the more, what should I say, robust value of AI. That you actually are seeing hype today, you don't see really value. You see some bits and pieces of, oh, you can generate a video, you can generate an image, but that is beyond that what? Right? That is where the second level applications will actually become super valuable. The third level, which is going to be more of what you would see as ambient AI agents and everything, which also we do, but we do for business use cases. What ambient AI and everything, when they actually come to that point, AI you will not really interact with like you're picking up an app or a phone, but they actually blend in into the walls, blend in into your life, and they suddenly come in when they are supposed to come in and give you a message and again disappear back.
I think the common man will also start using this artificial
They will
intelligence
interact
soon.
with him as a natural course of how you will interact with the table and maybe your camera or your camera would actually say, I know you are actually shooting a podcast or you're a feature.
Then you don't need a cameraman.
Maybe you still need the cameraman to kind of do the lighting arrangements and things, but it'll definitely say maybe your lighting is not good. Do you want to work on it? Or maybe the guy who is sitting opposite to you is not even moving at all. Maybe you should ask him to be a little loose.
But do you think, these kind of artificial intelligence somewhere again get affected to our as a human body or human psychology? Because as you see phones, you see internet, you see social media, we are totally dependent. Our emotions have got cut down. I think somewhere we have started using our 50% of brain. We are totally dependent.
Sure.
How you see this 50% what we are using will be taken up by artificial intelligence? The name itself is artificial intelligence.
And it so also happens that, it will. Unfortunately,
the future is like, I think the way it's growing.
So I think that if you see, there's a whole new philosophy about this, right? That is, you cannot fight these things, but you need to grow with them. The same way, like how social media, there was a recent case, right, where one of the child, he was around 9-year-old child, he was actually diagnosed with ADHD. And the doctors were ready to give him medication and everything. That happened in the US. So they were actually planning to give him medication and everything. But then the parents decided, no, I don't want to give my medication to my son at this age. I want to do something else. And do you know what they did? They just cut off the screen time by 100%. That is, they stopped totally the screen time to the kid. And in 2 weeks, the ADHD symptoms are all gone.
Oh my
So
God.
you have a lot of negative impacts that are happening because of all the technology. AI will contribute. That is, it will make us, I think,
Dependent,
so all the language, right? All the language skills we are having today, you start using ChatGPT for all the language skills, obviously it'll go down. So is it going to be a problematic thing? Yes. But interestingly, if you see the trends that are happening, the Gen Y and Gen X were actually addicted to social media, but if you see the Gen Z, they are actually using much less social media than actually what you're seeing in X and Y. So they know already that they don't love social media so much. So they are making that change, that shift. So I think we'll also go through that. Like at some point we were addicted to calculators and we can't actually do mental calculations.
Yes.
So I think we'll go through that phase, but I think
Now
I
we're
have...
using nobody has a calculator
we
on the
we
phone.
use the phone, yes.
And now earlier will not the phone, okay, tell me how much the cost is.
Yes. So I think we'll go through that phase as well. And we will come out of it. I have faith in the human, resilience that we will go through that and we'll also come out of it stronger.
I think all the natural intelligence is being getting cut down.
Sure.
So that's the future. But as you professional, you are doing for something which is useful actually. The resources can be useful to the right person or the right way. Now at this point, what are the sectors you are working where exactly you wanted to go and make a future on it?
So we are actually focusing on fintech and also healthcare. That is where I think AI use cases and digital transformation is very heavy, and that's where I think those are areas where we are actually heavily investing in, and we are also getting a lot of customer
And
traction with.
healthcare means the diagnosis or the, you
So there
said
are-
the one point that, what the best way to come out of it,
Correct.
advising it, right?
Correct. That is, there is also two parts to the whole healthcare. That is one, collection of data, then analyzing and making insights with the data. So sometimes what happens, both of which are very important. So we are trying to work with in the healthcare space in accumulation of data and also interpretation of data. That is the diagnostics and everything. Then there is also this whole new space that is actually coming up, which is preventive healthcare. That is, you are actually, or rather, let's call it as lifestyle healthcare. That is, you are actually putting all the metrics that a person is going through and see what are going to cause them diseases 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And can you actually help them today so that they don't get the diseases?
Like we have a smartwatch who keep a watch, okay, this is happening, this is. So now the technology can tell you after 5 years you can have this disease.
Yes, and we are actually talking about how do we
That
give
will
them.
be an instrument or like what, how it works?
No, we are actually
the
working on the
analysis.
software side.
Okay,
So
great.
we are actually building models which actually
Okay.
do the prediction, but the sensors data can be incorporated. We also can incorporate images. We can talk about videos. They can take
So after 10
snapshots.
years, will you be alive or not? Okay.
Probably, yeah. But again, it
The
also
main
gives.
diseases can be, that's very interesting.
And then
right?
it also gives them nudges in the sense, maybe, you know what, for past 3 days you didn't go for swimming, why don't you go for swim? Why don't you actually go for a run? And, you are just having...
No, there are products are coming in the market
Which
like
is-
diabetic control. They keep a control on you.
Exactly.
You just apply on your body.
Correct.
So like this is not like if you're a healthy person and cancer is like very common thing after 5 years or 10 years. You can get that. That can be predictable, and the cure has
We
to
are
be
actually
sent.
going much deeper into that. Now, let's take that, you also include the shampoos you use.
Okay.
And the food habits and where you are eating, what is the food brands that you're buying. If all of those also are taken into account, you have a better model.
But how are you going to connect with that?
So
Like,
you can...
a one
so-
person's like a bodyguard to your body, right?
Yes. So you are actually taking everything that's happening, including, let's say, you're, in Gachibowli, let's say. We know the pollution levels in Gachibowli. So how are that going to happen? That is going to affect your own, what should I say,
Health or
health
something,
and everything
breathing.
over a period of time. Because that, in Delhi, the kids are having
Yes.
14% less lung
Yes,
size.
yes.
Just because of the quality of air.
Yes.
So all of these make a difference. So what we are actually talking about is now with the AI coming in and with the robust models that are there, you can actually take all this holistic data and build a single model, like a digital twin to you, and saying it actually keeps, a mental model, a data model of everything that is going into you and how it is going to affect you, and it builds it up, and it actually starts making the predictions on that. That we don't have today. You have a watch,
Yes.
it works independently. You have you go maybe to a Ratnadeep or a store, you get some food, but that and this is not connected.
Okay.
Now, can we actually connect all of that? Can you also
There will
connect
be a
your...
product only that
Yes, we are
form
building
of
the AI
product.
side of things. That is, we are building the models. So we do.
We can have AI watches who can keep
so
a track.
you can have the watch, and the watch will give the data, and you have a model you look at and says, you know what, your air quality is bad. Why don't you go take a vacation in Manali? Maybe you'll become better.
That's very interesting. You don't need advices from your parents or some doctors. I think half of the work is done.
Sure.
So when we can discover, it's really interesting. I think you have already worked on it, or like
We are working on it.
that's
we're making
that
it.
actually going to work now. I mean, I must say for the healthcare especially. So it will be a form of product or like.
We actually will be selling. We are a platform company.
Okay.
So we are actually working with other companies to enable them to build
inputs.
such models.
Yeah, such
yes.
models. That's quite interesting. I think I must be waiting when you're launching and coming up with this. And we
Absolutely.
can show the demo and we can actually work more on that. That's a really interesting part. So what are the 3 tips you take when you start something
So
personally?
one thing I would say is if you're starting something, be ready to have a lot of pain and failures. That's the first thing. Second thing is, so you need absolutely
You're going
enough
for a war. You're going for a war.
Yeah, and for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's not like a 6-month plan. You should have a 2-year, 3-year plan and be ready for that fight. And the second thing is you need to read a lot and see, understand. You should be like a sponge, taking all the information and everything. And then the third most important thing is you should be opinionated and you should have an opinion. You should have a viewpoint on life. And it could be very different from anybody,
yes.
but you should be very clear about your viewpoint and you should believe in it and you should work
Exactly,
towards
and
it.
it should be new idea, which
course.
people are not accepting. Oh, ye kya idea? But that will only works.
And if you're not actually getting enough rejections, right, you're not doing anything interesting.
Yes, so rejections
that's
are
always there.
important. Thank you so much, Anand sir. I mean, I really enjoyed talking to you, the inspirational story. So more interviews with you, but this was really interesting.
It
I'm
was
just
my pleasure.
waiting for that apps to come and discover so much. It's
Sure.
going to help anyway. Plus and points, minus are everywhere, right? It's
Absolutely.
it's up to us how we gonna take that, right?
Correct.
So thank you so much. It was really inspirational story with Anand, who have actually come up with new ideas and planning to come up with more creative ideas. For more updates, keep watching iDream. Till then, goodbye.